Hello, hello, and welcome back to Slurpathon 2022. It is I, the tried and true Omax here, your host for the next stream. We have TempestMask1000 and his lovely partners that I will totally butcher the name and they will introduce themselves because I sure cannot. They are wonderful people, they're amazing. Mighty Number 9 is our game that is up next. We do have a couple of incentives still. We have our bid war for Celeste, and we have a contender for trans rights, and it's Conroy. Trans rights at $30, Conroy at 2.22. And we do have another incentive. It is my incentive, Omax. The Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, Immortal Severance ending bid for $100 has opened up, so if you want to see me play to the Immortal Severance ending, then donate now. And at this point, I will pass it off to Tempest and crew for their intros and having funs.
There once was a mighty robot named Brent. He was so worthy that his entire game died. Brent! Okay, with that out of the way, hello friends and fellow gamers. My name is TempestMask1000, and it's wonderful to be back here for Slurpathon yet again. And this time, whereas in previous events I might have given off some blue fellas, we're gonna go a little navy blue this time with Mighty Number 9, and joining me on commentary is a very good friend of mine and a world record holder for this category, any percent, as well as any percent hard. His name is Ipe Hopue, but I also like to call him JP.
Yep, JP is pretty much fine. So yeah, I've run this game for a little bit. This is my first speedrun, so you could say it's my baby, in a sense. And yeah, hopefully we'll see plenty of good dashing, and I know Tempest will be doing a lot of that.
Heck yeah. So we'll see what we got going, but just to let you all know, normally I like to ask you all what dub language I'll be going with, but I think for all intents and purposes English is fair enough for me, because today has been an interesting day. So let's go ahead, delete this save data. Timing will be via IGT, but of course I do like to track the RTA time regardless, and we'll explain a little bit more about that as we go along. But if you have beaten this game before, any percent is run on the normal difficulty. So with that said, JP, would you like to do my countdown this time?
Sure. 3, 2, 1, let's dash.
Alright, welcome to Mighty Number 9. For those that don't know, this was a game that was kick-started under Concept, which was a company of Keiji Inafune's, who was a longtime producer and director of the Mega Man games back during his tenure at Capcom. And so he wanted to make the spiritual successor during the time when Capcom was not releasing a whole lot of new Mega Man. So this was definitely at least a couple of years before we eventually got 11. That said, this game was kick-started, and while majorly successful in terms of the campaign, there's a whole lot about this game that unfortunately ended up being a rough in the diamond. But still, it's a really fun speed game at that, and we're about to show why. What I just did there, though, was the action shift, which is a action that is currently faster until I got the dash after having gone through that mandatory combat section. This is important because the dashing plays into how I am going to try and, for the most part, dispatch my enemies. Oh, goodness. I don't usually fall in there. But yeah, no, generally the idea is that Beck can absorb weakened robots and their energy, which is called Zell. And it's upon using this that I have a few different boosts, which, JP, would you like to explain each?
Yes. The red boost is probably the most important one. It gives you a damage boost, and it will also lessen your weapon ammo usage. We get to that a little bit later once we get weapons that use actually weapon energy. The yellow one Tempest just got was a defense boost. Not that useful, but still fun to have at some points. There's also green that increases spec speed, and I don't think I need to explain why that's important. Those are temporary boosts you get immediately after absorbing one of those type of enemies. Then there is the blue, which you have to actually absorb couple of couple of enemies before you get the benefit. The benefit being a E-Tank equivalent healing item that Beck can use to restore his health back to full no matter how low. So those are also useful in some occasions and definitely very good for safety. So you really want to do... I want to have one of those at hand most of the time, but yeah. Considering that, we're now getting to a boss fight. Boss fights also work similarly with the absorption mechanics, except that bosses have their health kind of sliced into different parts. Once you damage one part enough, the boss will start bleeding some kind of a purple color there, and you have to absorb it to remove that part from the boss's health bar completely. If you don't, the boss will start to regenerate it, and hopefully we don't get to see that at all. Other than that, once you remove all the parts, you finish the boss fight and you win, just like that. And that's the intro stage done. Nice job. It was good fun.
Yeah, a pretty good fight. My movement could have been a little bit faster, but yeah. So the first timing was, I think, what was it, 2 minutes, 14 seconds, .97. The results screen... Yeah, the results screen is where we get our IGT within this game, so very important to note because, well, this game has a weird sense of timing. Even the file time itself is going to be a little bit off sometimes, so results screen is the more reliable version, and it's to that effect, though, that we also do, unfortunately, consider runs invalid if the player game overs, or if you retire while in the middle of a stage. The good news about the 80% category being run on normal is that you have an option in the options menu to change how many lives you start a level with, so that's why my lives are immediately at 9. So yeah, no cheat codes. I don't even think Mighty Number 9 has some inherent cheat codes anyway. But yeah, let's see if I can get the little trick. Oh, no, I'm going to conveyor jump because I already got the red one, so that's not going to help. There we go. All right. So, what did I just do, JP?
Invincibility glitch, no cheating. The actual shift movement Tempest did in the intro stage actually has two different variants. One where you shoot and one where you just jump. With the jump one, Beck actually gets invincibility frames during this jump. If you are standing on a block or something that breaks and you do the actual jump, and the thing you're standing on breaks before Beck leaves the ground, Beck will have his invincibility frames turned on, but the game doesn't know when to turn them off, since I think they are turned off at the apex of the Beck's jump. So, yeah,
sounds about
you will
right.
get invincibility frames until something touches Beck's invincibility frames, and those things are usually stuff like cutscenes, doing a move that touches or changes invincibility frames, or some room changes. Like there, we had the invincibility frames or invincibility glitch on, but once the gauntlet thing started, we lost them already. Because they are checked in room changes apparently or something. And that's just how it works. Also, you are not invincible in the full sense, since most insta-kill stuff like getting crushed spikes and so on and so forth will still kill you. Like those purple spikes there, if you touch them with invincibility frames, you die.
It's basically the Mega Man 1 effect, as I like to call it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of... That's not too bad though. With invincibility frames, lots of the stuff gets plenty easier. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Especially helpful for when you run stuff like the Maniac difficulty, which is one hit you die.
Definitely, but even in the normal one, yeah, you can skip plenty of stuff, and on the next stage we're gonna see it's hopefully in really good use.
In the meantime... Yeah, no, you go ahead, you go ahead.
Yeah, I can let you concentrate. But yeah, we're coming to the end of the bat stage, and soon we will get the best weapon pretty much we can get in the game. Before that, we have to have the first fight in a Mega Man game, which means lemons mashed into the face of the boss as fast as you can. Bats moves are pretty simple to dodge, so this is a really good buster-only boss. And it also, while it also gives the best weapon, which, yeah, I think this is pretty much the obvious first choice in the speedrun sense. Soon we will see that the 8 mighty numbers have these things we like to call desperation moves, and here's Bat's desperation move. Once boss loses enough health, they do these little bit of extra actions, and with bats, that means he will shoot a insta-kill rocket on the other side of the stage, which he will wait to detonate, and the detonation is also, if you get caught in a blast, it will insta-kill you. So you have to be really careful dodging bats attacks. But this, yeah, is about
Yes!
Yes. Just in time.
And we get to
Almost
see the...
like a
we
action
still get to
movie
see the
finish.
explosion, yeah. Just a note that this was made in Unreal Engine 3, so this was before we got the greatness that is 4. Ah, dang it, I flipped through the time.
Yeah,
really
I got
too
it,
fast.
I got it.
Okay, good. As long as you had that. Yeah, you get, I bet you got...
I only need the fractions, so... Yeah,
oh, true. Well, you got keener eyes than I do. I imagine so anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not the best at looking for like a split second and, you know, corner of my eye stuff. Cutscene, can you please skip? Oh.
Attaboy. Oh, no?
Did my controller disconnect? Okay, yeah, my controller disconnected. Oh, goodness. Is that a battery thing? Well, we'll see in just a moment there. If that happens again, well, I mean, I'm not going to ask the run to stop. I'm just going to... I have a controller right next to me that I can immediately swap the batteries. This is actually a rechargeable pack that I'm using in a Generation 1 Xbox controller for the One. But yeah. What the heck was that lag?
Oh.
That
was mighty fine lag.
That was... Okay, and yeah...
We can blame it on the raid that came in, Rotor Storm 331. You raided and destroyed everything.
Wow.
But thanks for the raid.
Okay, battery switch. I'm doing it live. It's okay. It's not like It's not like RTA splits matter the most anyway. I think it was this way. Please still fit. Okay. I swear that's never happened before.
Well, you gotta have those never before moments in a marathon.
Exactly. Par for the course for me anyway.
Yeah.
All right, let's try that again. Thank goodness that was the beginning of the stage, though.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. I think that did it. So usually you know you got the trick right whenever Beck is facing the opposite direction. It's sometimes possible to question it, though, you know, second guess yourself, but assuming that you got the flip around, try to assume that you did do it, because if you attempt the action shift again, that's obviously going to negate your iframes. But hey, I got it here, and that's perfect considering that the stage benefits that from these drills. You notice they have the purple electricity, or pinkish, or magenta, whatever you want to call it. I usually we usually abbreviate it as pink is bad, because it usually denotes instant kill traps, but that's also the case with those drills, just not so much when you have the iframes going on. So, one exception to the you're dead regardless of if you're invincible rule, which is kind of neat. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm gonna focus as I just try to grab onto this. Okay, it can be a little bit slow. I didn't want to go for the quicker cycle because one slip and I'm dead, and that would have been no good. But yeah, it's no big deal.
Yeah. Weird thing about the Bat's weapon, it's a rocket you can detonate on command, and it's a big explosion, it uses little ammo, it deals a lot of damage, so yeah. This is going to replace the Buster of the run. And it's also the weakness of the next boss. And while we went through the stage, or Tempest went, rather, you could see that the Bat was helping us. And that's a unique gimmick to this game, and I kinda like it.
I do too.
Here we have the Mick fight. We hope Mick doesn't do jumping. That's one thing you don't want to see, but apparently he likes to jump a lot. Thanks, Mick.
Ooh, imagine if he was a little closer to the side and managed to do that straight up jump. That would have been a first for me. So that desperation move has him summon 2 drills that can instantly kill you if you get crushed by them, but he can get crushed as well, and I've yet to see that happen in any of my runs, but one of these days, it's going to be glorious.
Yeah, that's one of the, you could say, desperation move skips that this game has, but this is the least consistent of them all.
All right.
Couple of later ones are way more consistent and definitely gonna go with. I think Tempest will go. I'm pretty sure.
We'll see how it all plays out with things and stuff, but yeah. What was that, Akimo?
Oh, I have a donation donated straight to you.
Oh, heck yeah. Let's hear it.
Okay. It's from Dot Phase with $15. What's up and what's good, TempestMask? Good to see you, homie. Best luck with your run. I swear I didn't do anything to your controllers. You're a beast for having a second controller on the ready. Have our donos to Sekiro.
Heck yeah, thanks,
yes.
Dot. Great man, great pal of mine. Absolutely a wonderful person. Yeah, no, in case you're wondering who donated to the file name for Conroy, for Celeste, that was indeed me. It is a bit of a shame that today we did learn about the tragic passing of Kevin Conroy, best known for Batman. So I wanted to do that donation in his honor, especially considering that since we are raising money for Extra Life, I think it only makes sense that we keep him in mind, because unfortunately he was fighting cancer at the time, so rest in peace, you legend. But with that said, we are currently playing on the highway stage, which is Brandish's level. And how this works is, if you're unfamiliar with... Actually, hang on a sec. Okay, I just wanted him to be out of the way. I was afraid I was going to bop him. So, Mighty Number 9 was actually mainly developed by Inti Creates, who are best known for the Mega Man Zero and ZX games, but have also had successful franchises like Azure Striker Gunvolt, the Blaster Master Zero series alongside Sunsoft, and just a really fantastic developer all around. While this game may be one of their... one of the ones that maybe they don't like to mention much, I still respect them all the same for it. And one of the things you tend to find in the Zero games is a train level. In a way, this is similar because if I touch the road, that's an instant kill. So, you know, much like how you don't want to touch the tracks while the train is moving, that sort of spiel. But other than that, we got another gauntlet room. And yeah, I can destroy robots, actually. I don't even have to absorb them. Sometimes that can be a little bit quicker, especially when you have something as highly destructive as Battalion's rocket. So, you know, all that good jazz. But now we got an auto-scroller level coming up, and I'm gonna just try the glitch right here. Yep, there we go. So I should be safe for the most part, but again, I want to avoid the road. Sadly, my last run had it where I made the mistake of falling in. Oh, that was a time.
Yeah, also this is like, I don't know, a minute and a half, 2 minutes auto-scroller. The only checkpoint you get is once you clear the auto-scroller section and you get to the boss fight. So, anytime you die during the auto-scroller, you will have to start all over again.
Yeah, not fun.
Fantastic.
So honestly, I don't even know if Mick really does anything in this section. I guess he moves some cars out of the way, which probably eases up your visibility in the front layer, but really, I don't think I've noticed that much of a difference as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I don't remember.
Mighty Numbers, with their assistants, they're generally going to tell you what the weakness to the boss is, for the most part. Otherwise, there are some instances where, say, doing Mighty Number 6 before Mighty Number 1 actually can save you a little bit of time, supposedly anyway, or just provides a little more safety, whichever the case. But yeah, the any percent run is very much weakness order as far as things go.
Yeah, starting with that. And considering we are coming to the boss fight, the weapon we got from Mick is where you become a bulldozer and you have to collide with things. It's a melee weapon, pretty much, and we're gonna fight the melee boss, so we're gonna go in the danger zone, you would say. We're gonna want to stay close, as close as possible to Brand. And this fight has actually the desperation move skip, which is pretty consistent, but we don't fully know how to do it, so...
Yeah, it ain't happening today. It's so weird.
Once he starts his desperation move and starts spewing out Shakespeare, he usually is invincible. But sometimes he isn't, and if you absorb him before he starts flying around, he will doing the desperation move completely and will continue his normal jumping behavior.
That was a still pretty good fight, despite the botched attempted DM skip.
Yeah.
Phew. Yeah, that was Brand. This is maybe the second longest consistent stage within the game, or the run for that matter. The first longest consistent stage, well, that's a little later. But yeah, no, Brand is Brand. I mean, the fight I like the fight for having that little detail where using Mick on him causes his blades to break, and that's just cool. I like little details like that. Actually, JP and I also kind of rediscovered this animation where Mick's trying to summon a box on his hand but gets confused if you break it. That was in my last run as well. We both laughed hard at that one. Alright, let's crush and smash and crush and smash.
And enjoy ASMR Sanda, who doesn't like the darkness.
Yes.
He goes way hammy on the voice acting.
But to his credit, his voice actor in the dub, Dave Wittenberg, is a top-notch actor in his own right. I just think he maybe had a little too much freedom in the direction, and that came to the chagrin of some players.
Yeah, Dyna stage is pretty simple as far the stage itself goes. You have the blackout system here that the power plant loses its power every once in a while, and some enemies are affected by this. The box enemies mostly, they are inactive when the power is out, so you can jump over them more easily. But with this gauntlet, yeah, you heard the Santa scream, and we get these wonderful little pig enemies. But with the rocket, they are easy to kill. With the regular buster, they are pale. You have to wait them to jump. I don't think you can hit grounded pigs with your buster. I might be wrong.
Yeah, I kind of forgot myself, but it's okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It is worth mentioning, by the way. Or then again, did you already mention that the red boost already? Yeah, you mentioned that it.
Yeah, in the beginning, but we're gonna come back to that. So yeah, this weapon, all the weapons you get use weapon energy. That's not something that's too much different from Mega Man games, but yeah. Here, now it starts to matter a little bit. The rocket uses very little ammo to begin with. With the red power-up, you can spam them way too much, and the game starts to lag sometimes.
Okay.
Overall, yeah. And those turbines are pretty much a first-player trap. The game is very bad at telling the player how to do stuff. I think it has the hint there that you have to press down and dash button to do a ground dash. But usually when you go through a place where you need ground dash, the game will automatically keep you crouched during the dash as long as you need to be. But during that part, if you release your crouch button, you will die. And that's fun.
Alright, moving on to Dynatron's fight. So now I'm going to use Bran's weapon, and he's basically a Zero, but with the kill-a-kill scissor blades, in a sense. And so I can slash Dyna as many times as I want without wasting energy, but the big stuff will come into the spin slash, which I don't really use. But then there's also the air down slash, which I'm going to use right now.
Oh, you got the annoying pattern. Dyna has different patterns, and you don't want her to stay up. You want her to come close to you so you can mash away at her. But with the charged jump attack, you can, I think in 2 hits you can just make Dyna ready to be absorbed.
Very simple boss to go through though, with the weakness all in all. And very fun to just total her little
just
barrier in one fell
some
swoop.
luck to get a good fight.
Sure, because it's just a matter of float RNG, basically. You know, what she decides to do. Alright, you know what time it is, JP?
Is it time for Shady Tempest?
Initiating Counter Shade Protocol.
I can check from. I can't see it from this, but I can see it.
You'll see eventually.
Yeah,
The question is, can I?
Counter Shade stage is a little bit different. You aren't going from left to right for the whole duration. The point of the stage is actually catch up to Counter Shade and damage him enough so he will have to fight you one-on-one.
Alright, remember not to hurt him here, Steve.
Yeah.
There we go.
Left. Nice. And we are not hurting him there yet, because we are gonna kind of manipulate Counter Shade to go through a certain route which is supposedly the fastest. At least with the current strats, it is the fastest. So first, we're gonna hope here he comes as close as possible, and we got the second best RNG.
Okay, so far looking good.
Yeah, Tempest will shoot a couple of lemons and then Dyna's weapon. Shade is weak to Dyna's weapon, but with the couple of pellets and Dyna, we can actually survive or get the boss fight a little bit quicker. Usually you have to meet Shade 4 times, but with a couple of lemons and Dyna, we get to only meet Counter Shade 3 times and then get to the boss fight. Running a one section of the stage completely, and you can expect that to save a lot of time. So
which is especially helpful, because if you do die during the stage, you actually have to start from square one. So, yeah. And I mean square one is in you gotta, like, start the whole hide and seek over again, no checkpoints, yeah. Alright, let's see if it works.
Only checkpoint is before the boss fight, and Tempest got the furthest spawn, but yeah, you got the stage nicely in the bag.
Moon Hughes in chat very correctly pointing out that Shade's voice actor in the dub is the amazing Steve Bloom, a personal hero of mine who I hope to meet one of these days. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame that the game didn't turn out so well, but, you know, I think he put in a nice performance, all things considered. I mean, he's Steve Bloom.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Coming up is the Shade boss fight. And here you want to shoot Dyna's weapon onto him before he goes invisible. Because once you shoot enough times, once you shoot Shade enough times, he will turn invisible and jump around the room. But if he has those Dyna pellets attached to him, he won't go invisible. Or he will try, but...
How did I get hit by the bullet? Oh no, that's the worst kind.
This fight actually has the possible... You can skip this part, or the desperation move completely, if you just deal enough damage before Shade gets into position to start the fight, start the move.
Gonna have to be a little careful. One more touch and I'm dead.
Okay.
Just had it.
No.
Just had it. Okay, hang on. Usually he doesn't stand on the table, so I can rest assured there. I'm just going to... Dang it! Oh, that was close, but, no
yeah,
cigar.
at least it wasn't during the boss fight, so you...
Yeah.
Yeah, not from the entire stage.
Ah, well, happens every once in a while.
Yeah. Now you can go for the desperation move, skip again. Let's see again.
Hey, at least we get to do it again. So, you know what? More Steve Bloom. Okay. So, it is worth mentioning, by the way, that there are some detailed changes in some of the fights depending on what difficulty you're playing. For instance, in any percent with the normal difficulty, he only does 2 clones, or sorry, 1 false image, and then himself. But in a harder difficulty, he actually pulls out 2. So, yeah. The key there is that the false image does not hurt you at all, so putting that to use, I could have very well just passed through him and I would have been totally fine. But yeah, the reflecting bullet thing was what got me, and I was trying to outrun that. That's why I unfortunately died, because I played with fire there.
Yeah.
And that was, yes, as he said, sloppy. Sloppy. There's so much about the English dub, though, that you can't... You know, there's something charming about some points of the English dub, if I do say so myself. Alright, well, that's gonna take care of the protocol, but until next time, my good friends.
Let's
I figured that was gonna be a little over 3 minutes at the very least. I mean, I guess it usually is, but I don't know.
Yeah. I'm starting to forget what the in-game times are here. Usually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get back to this game at some point.
Sure.
One day.
One of these days. Right, well, now that we've beaten Shade, it's time to move on over to our good friend, Mr. Newscaster, the winner of the Pulitzer Prize himself, Aviator, also known as Avi. And I was totally lying, by the way. He did not win any awards as far as I could tell. But in a perfect world, shout out to his voice actor, Mick Wingert, though. Really cool voice actor, known for doing roles like Shu Yamaguchi from 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim. Really fantastic game.
This is also probably one of my favorite stages, the way it flows. Especially if you get good cycles and stuff, it feels really good to do. Yeah, this is more of a vertical level compared to the other ones, so it also kind of changes the pace a little bit.
That it does, yeah. Usually Inti Creates does a good enough job with their vertical levels. Gunvolt 1 had a pretty banger one itself. At least as far as I can tell. Whoa, oh, there we go. Okay, so unfortunately I did not have the red power-up at first, but there will be more than enough opportunities to have that here. We got a little 3-phase mini-boss fight where I got to take care of the turret gun, some missile launchers, and then a giant screw in the middle that for some reason is there.
And the very important part of this fight is that you get the red power-up from the 3 missiles. If you miss the first one, it's not that bad. The second one you really want to get. So,
okay. So far looking good. There's just one more phase. Let's see if I can get it good.
Stop mashing.
I did run out of red power, but that's okay. Still a nice thingy. Quick clears, obviously, are a good sign of you knowing when you're going fast. These usually portrays, though, to score bonuses. This game did try to implement a whole scoring system, which, again, Mega Man 1, but, at least it tried to do something with it, where the whole combo system is when the game encourages you to try and get those 100% bonuses when you absorb enemies. And basically that Zell value depreciates over time when the enemy is weakened, so if you want to keep that combo going, basically just skip out on absorbing the enemy, period, and there you go. I never really tried score attacking this game. Probably won't, but that's not to say you can't. And I mean you watching, by the way. I'm not I know JP and I are mostly speedrunners through and through.
Yeah, especially with this game. I think speedrunning makes the game shine in a different kind of light. That makes it definitely more enjoyable.
Absolutely.
I'm a little bit biased, but well.
Oh, good. I mean, we got a good friend in LV Creed, who unfortunately couldn't join us today, but I know he very much appreciates this game for what it is, too. That said, though, let's go ahead and proceed up the tower. I'm going to now be using Shade's weapon, which, of course, is Avi's weakness, but also has this nifty little bullet ricochet going for it. It's basically a ricocheting sniper bullet. It's a wonderful sort of thing. It's, sadly a little high on ammo consumption, though, so I gotta be a little mindful of that.
It's powerful, but yeah, you can use 3 shots, and then you're out of ammo. So definitely without the red power-up, and even with the red power-up, you have to be careful, especially during the boss fights. You have to time your shots really well, or you will not have ammo when you really need it.
Here we go.
Avi's fight is something we... this is something we don't want to see immediately. I was just about to say, there are a couple of moves we don't want to see, and that is one.
Didn't want to jinx it, huh?
Yeah, but it knew what I was thinking. It knows me way too well. This is a wonderful move because you can use the ricochet to hit the boss and immediately absorb him. This is also pretty decent where he just comes up and you can shoot the camera, and once again from the camera you get the ricochet and easy business. This desperation move is easy to dodge and stuff, but there is no way to skip it as far as I know. And I'm not the this just in.
This just in, you can ricochet off the bombs if you're feeling lucky, but ooh, that's not good. That's not good.
Yeah, that can happen with that also, that Avi will go off screen when he's really good at absorb and he starts recovering health.
Yeah.
I don't think that's good at all.
It's never good.
Oh no.
No, it's fine. I got the instant heal. One thing to note about the what was it? Well, let's take a look. Excel Recover. Thank you. The Excel Recover works where, once you have it ready, you can use it, but there is actually 2 slots. Sadly, the second one you can only get via the patch robots, which are those cute little bots that usually give me a little item before a boss fight. Not when you start the game, they don't always appear, though. I guess I don't even really know if there's a whole science behind the RNG, per se, but only patched robots can give you a full-on heal, which, hey, felt a sneeze coming. Basically goes into your second slot, and then, yeah, but one issue. You can still activate it even if you're at full health. So don't do that. Okay, that was not quite.
Pyro's level is first of the two levels that will introduce the slippery surfaces mechanic. This one has oil, which actually works in a weird way where you want to use nothing but dash there to go absolutely fast. If you give any left or right inputs, you will go the regular dash pace.
Right.
Pressing just dash will make you go fast.
Basically.
I don't know why this. Yeah. If you just run on it, I don't think it affects your regular running either. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Did they forget to program something? I wouldn't.
It's possible. This game saw quite a lot of developmental delays. It's always unfortunate to think back to, but you know, Inti did their best, and I still appreciate them as a company. I mean, hey, if you guys want to see some of their later products, they did recently release the Steam version of the latest Gunvolt 3, which is a pretty nice game. But yeah, you know, one that's also, we, the Gunvolt community, had also waited for quite a while too. So, you know, quite a while's coming, but yeah.
This stage also takes heavy use of invincibility, because, yeah, we can just stand here and wait for the platforms and we don't have to worry about taking damage. And also another thing that is kinda helped are these insta-kill towers that will crush us if we are left under, but this is another thing that the invincibility glitch actually helps with. More so in this section, where you get these fiery bullets and the towers trying to get you caught and crushed. But the boss fights, we haven't discussed the weapons that much, mostly because Bat's weapon is just the most useful one, but here, Abi's weapon actually has a nifty little mechanic. You can throw it like a boomerang to zigzag around. Usually you can have only one at a time on the screen, but if you change weapons to something else and then back to Abi's, Peck forgets that he threw his weapon, and he can throw another one. And if you chain combo this, you can throw multiple one of these. And you can just pretty much slice through Pyros.
Now that I think about it, it is possible to cancel the boomerang return effect if you dash.
Yeah.
Maybe. Was it dash works too? Right? I don't need to untransform. I think you need to untransform. That's usually what we do.
Another one. Yeah, I think dashing will do nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure.
Because I did something a little different that felt faster anyway to me.
Yeah. That's the first stage I missed. God dang it.
Oh, don't worry. That was 2:12:85.
85, okay, I'll have it. Nice teamwork.
Heck yeah.
And the final of the 8 robot masters, I mean mighty numbers, Cryo, who is the fun master of the group. And yep, this is 2 different mechanics that everybody loves in video games, and they are combined here. This level is short, but it combines an water level with an ice level. So I can hear everyone being excited and happy. Cozy. But this level isn't that bad, it's actually kinda tricky. Not in a way you'd expect, but especially if you're gonna go for a really fast time. There's plenty of stuff you need to get. It's a pretty cool stage. But it starts pretty slowly with the water section. The physics are very moist, you could say. And yeah.
That was interesting though. When I was trying to go up the water, my damage knockback actually put me like way high up. That was almost poggers, if I do say so myself.
The game gave you a boost.
Yeah. Alright, so slippery surfaces, we're back to that, except this time it's ice. Yeah, so as JP said, don't hold left or right, just do a neutral dash and you'll get that massive speed boost.
Yeah. And we have a couple of these mini bosses in the stage that will try to play ping pong while you're supposed to get rid of them.
Okay, there we go.
These bosses have a tendency to glitch out where you can't finish them. finish them all, or at least one of them you cannot completely absorb, and you get a little soft luck there.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
the kind that requires you to have to leave the stage and then
Yeah.
invalidate your run effectively.
Oh.
And
No.
yeah.
Yeah, ice freezes you. Surprising, I know.
Yeah, shocking.
But yeah. Yeah. But yeah, this time we have another mini-boss fight, and Cryo will be throwing puns and ice and trying to freeze us. And that's not looking that good. But I think we'll manage. Nicely done.
It's gonna be a little tight on health, though. Let's see if I can at least get the heal. Yeah, that's more like it.
Yeah.
I said a Beck line. There you go. Oh, snap. Nah, no,
Oh.
never mind. So,
At least you get a full heal now.
yeah, that full section, that last portion of the section, luckily you checkpoint right there, but I die a lot to that, and that's just how it goes. How did that missile... nope, never mind. So, here's the problem with the ice physics. You can't grab ledges. Bad, considering that you kind of need that to recover, don't you?
Yep. So if you fall, dashing away will just delay the inevitable. But yeah, sometimes that's just an instinct that won't go away.
Yep. Well, there you go this time. So we'll see how much that kind of worked against me in my overall time. All that's left for you is to flush to. Sorry.
Cryo's fight, with Pyro's weapon you just charge a combustion, a big explosion, and it's the weakness of Cryo. You want her to not do this attack twice. You want her to drop down once, absorb her, and then she would just... she would just stay down and shoot ice balls, but that was a good fight.
It was a good position to
Desperation
have
move
her
is-
desperation move start too. Yeah, you go ahead and explain that.
Yeah, the desperation move is pretty much where just Cryo goes from left to right and tries to freeze you, and we'll, after a little bit of time, we'll do the freezing tower of ice.
Yeah, because she likes to stay
And I
cool,
think-
don't you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, now we're moving on to the late game stages, and I'm actually going to start with the Robot Factory this time around. See, some people don't know that you can
Ooh.
actually jump into the Robot Factory before the prison. I just figured let's go keep the back action going before we show Best Girl Call. And by Best Girl, I mean Best Girl with a bad level. Which,
It's a bad stage.
you know, it's a shame. I love Call, but she got a horrible level design going for her, really. Or boss design, rather.
You could say the stage was a bad call.
I love it. Oh boy. I love me a good pun every once in a while.
Yeah, this stage is pretty good with the weapon usage. Most of the time you only use bat, but here you actually get the mileage out of most of the weapons. With Avi's weapon, you can actually... Ooh,
Shit.
you can spin it on top of your head like a fidget spinner and increase your jump rate, slowing your descent jump. And here you can also use either Cryo's weapon or Avi's weapon and do the pyro juggle thing for this mummy robot.
Hi, Mob.
Hi, Mom. The way this boss works is that she has her wake points available to you for a little time, and once she says that's enough, she will go inside the tower and she can be damaged until you get rid of the atoms.
3 cycles are average, but it's preferred if you get at least a 2 cycle. 1 cycles are possible,
Yeah.
but it's not the end of the world if you don't.
Yeah.
What the
Oh, you get this
heck?
glitch. That's wonderful glitch. The sound is amazing. It
you
just
betcha.
destroys your ears.
Luckily, my headphones are not loud. Or set to loud, or whatever the heck, and hopefully yours weren't either, whoever's watching.
Also, I hope you like flashbacks or
Yeah, this
meeting
guy
old
looks familiar.
characters. Yeah, you might have seen this thing. This time it's a little bit more bulky, has a little bit more different attacks, I should say, and yeah, this time we are also a bit more bulky and have different attacks. So we're on a level playing field.
Alright, now to see if I can at least clear this portion without slipping up. This is another potential uh-oh moment of mine. A common one
Yeah,
at that.
this is This isn't the worst place to die since the checkpoint is pretty close. But it's... dying is always dying.
Indeed.
Small time is time, and so on and so forth.
Here's the
But
thing
yeah,
about
this is our-
the acceleration dash, by the way. You might have not noticed this, but in case you did, I'll say it anyway. You can actually get a lot. You'll get a lot more knockback if you get hit in the middle of a dash, and that's just a risk and reward that was intended within the design of the game. It's a little unfortunate that way too, because you know we got to go fast. But hey, something to keep in mind if you decide to play this game. Which, by the way, it is available on Wii U, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Steam.
But here's the refight of the game. Yeah, spoilers, we don't have a refight. Because we're friends with all of the mighty numbers. We also heard the last puns of the game, I think. So, yeah, the game's over, everybody. Not really.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, coming up is the boss of this stage. It's... You could technically say it has two parts to it. We have this little... Well, not little, big little...
Nameless
big little
robot. Literally called
robot
Nameless
thing.
or Unknown.
CD and XXX or whatever. And you have to get rid of this thing before you can damage the true mom. And once you defeat True Mom, the boss fight ends. But while you're fighting your way with the True Mom, you can see in the background the robot is getting assembled again. Oh no, close.
Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna happen. Didn't think
So close.
I didn't have the hindsight to flip fast enough. And now the equivalent of Impact Jail. There's no escape.
Get to dance some Macarena. I have to wait for these rockets to get away so we can destroy the bot again and then get what's left of money.
I suppose raining rockets very well fits the mood of what's going on over where I am, because we had quite a bit of rain today. It was something. Well, you know what? While we finish up this boss, I'd say this is actually a good time to open up the floor to our host. So if we got any announcements or donations to read, please go ahead.
Awesome, sounds good. It is Omax here to talk to you about our bid incentives that are still up. So we actually still have our Celeste bid war for Trans Rights versus Conroy, and Trans Rights is totally winning. If you wanted to get in on that, then go for it. If not, you should take your money and put it towards my bid incentive, which is Sekiro Shadows Die Twice for the Immortal Severance ending. Just another $85, and then we will get that ending. So put your money towards what you would like, and please donate and have fun. All of these donations go towards the Children's Miracle Network, so we can actually be great people and have great children and everything else.
Heck yes.
Anyways, go back to you.
Oh yeah, no, it's all good. But ultimately, yeah, we've entered the prison stage. This is the consistently longest level of the game, and it's here we are playing as Call. Now, her playability was made possible through a Kickstarter stretch goal that was obviously met. I would have imagined, though, that with the co-op mode that was also unlocked, you would think that maybe she could get to play the other levels, but nope, she got a dedicated level instead, and it's basically 2D Metal Gear. I mean, I guess there was that NES game called Snake's Revenge that was, US exclusive, but I don't know. All I do know is that we are collecting card keys as we go along. Her gameplay mechanics are definitely different from Beck's in that the first and most obvious change is she cannot absorb enemies with her dash. She does have the ability to hover. She can't do a duck dash, which is what I needed to do in certain instances, and I do mean needed. But instead she can crawl. And her Buster is a bigger shot, but you can only fire one at a time. So mashing shots requires you to be as close to an enemy as possible. There are some unique enemies within this stage, well, introduced in this stage anyway, that are indestructible. I suppose this was to convey the fact that Call can't take care of everything, like, with her weapon, but neither can Beck then, because really, there are a couple of challenge mode missions that you can do where you encounter this enemy as well, so there you go. But now we got the big eye enemy, and oops, I gotta be a little careful there. Essentially, though, the gist is that, yeah, damages eye enough times, you see the X mark, and then he dies when the saw blade hits him. Simple as that. Okay, that was almost a one cycle. I just wanted to play it safe, a little too safe. I knew I had at least one hit to go, but that's still a quick clear, so all is well. One other feature that Call has is the ability to use a barrier, which is what her energy gauge has, which, by the way, we didn't even mention one of the super nice things about weapon ammo with Beck, but we'll just get to that once we get back to Beck, so for now, all I gotta say is I can hold the trigger buttons to initiate this barrier, and it blocks the most basic version of the projectile within the game. Just that version of the projectile, nothing else. It's helpful, though, more than you might think. At least with this upcoming boss, anyway. Which, our friend Creed usually likes to call the old guard derp. But his name is K9. And he's a doggo that you cannot pet. I mean, you can try, but you're probably going to get shredded in the process. This game is rated E10, by the way.
This fight should be no one only, to be honest. This is kind of a boring fight. This is technically almost an auto-scroller. The way this works is that you start the fight by shooting the eye out. It's the only weak point this boss has. What do you do then? You wait the dog to summon these boxes, and once you destroy a box, it either will contain the bomb the dog just ate, and you see the damage. It was big damage. The other thing it can contain is a turret, and that turret will actually just restore the dog's eye, which you have to shoot, and that will deal minimal damage. You'd need 3 bombs to finish the fight. So you might think, is this RNG? Can you just get 3 bombs immediately? And the answer is not really. The first 4 boxes are said to contain 2 turrets and 2 bombs. And the 5th one, no matter what it is, will finish the fight. So you have to go through the 4 boxes every time, but with the 5th one, you have the RNG, where if you get an eye, you have to finish the fight yourself, which loses you a bit of time. But if you get the bomb, you get the fastest kill. There is a way to make the dog destroy the turrets and eat the bombs, but since you don't know for sure what boxes contain bombs, it is a lottery that's usually not worth it.
Maybe if you're really trying to go for a super optimized world record time, potentially, but no one has even bothered with that yet, as far as I can tell.
Nope, and that would make the game, because it's so late in the game, it would make it just so much rough.
Oh boy. Okay, it was an eye. Well, then again, was that number 4 or was that number 5?
I think that's number 4, because looking at the health, I don't think it's gonna finish it.
Yeah, probably not. Which is a pain, considering that, you know, that just means you got... Like, the thing is, 3, as JP might have said, 3 bombs is more than enough to finish this guy off. But, yeah, no. I can understand trying to make a unique boss for what it's worth, but this guy just takes so much time. It's unfortunate, even in a boss rush run, which I'm talking about boss rush mode, not a boss rush in the story. That's, yeah, despite this being a Mega Man spiritual successor, there is no actual in-story boss rush, but I like to think that they then took that concept and brought it into Mighty Gunvolt Burst, which they absolutely did. Oh, wait, 1 second. Yeah! Yeah, boy!
Sandra's so happy.
He very much is, despite not doing a single thing. Technically, Sonda did create Call, though. So, you know. And he's the one that gave Dr. William White, back in the Mighty Numbers' creators, a place to work at after having left his previous job at Cherry Dynamics, which, by the way, story stuff, this is actually taking place in America, sometime in an undisclosed portion of the future where we now apparently have 52 states. Whichever ones got added to the flag, the game never tells, so don't expect to find out, because I wish I knew. I would have had a couple of possibilities off the top of my head, and I would have loved to have at least been humored Just a little, but you know what? It is what it is. But now we are in the Battle Coliseum. This is actually the final Gauntlet room, and funny enough how they actually throw that into the beginning of the stage. Very convenient, though. Other than that, we are in this Battle Coliseum because the not big bad, and I do mean not big bad, but rather our misguided, malfunctioning sibling Trinity, is located here, and it's up to us to save her. That's basically what we've been doing with our siblings on the whole, so, you know, same verse, first and second, you know the phrase. One problem with this Gauntlet room, though, is that if you do defeat an enemy too soon while it's way high up on the wall, chances are you might not even notice it. Come on, let me absorb you, please, thank you. Okay, that was weird, but oh well.
Yeah, this stage has it has to have a gimmick, and the gimmicks are these blocks that will hurt you if you touch them. Unless you shoot them first, then they will become usable platforms. If you damage them even after that, they will disappear until you are far enough away from them. So you have to kind of manipulate them so you can progress through the stage. Like here, you don't want them to come. You want to get rid of these blocks so you can jump onto the platforms. Like that. And yeah. And soon we will have a puzzle with that mechanic. But it's pretty simple. Especially if you get the red power up.
Oh, come on. Let's try that again. Okay, just a little bit more. This is going to be a little bit close, but it could have been worse.
Could have been worse.
And yeah. There we go. Sheesh.
He's running a puzzle.
Yeah, I did bungle it a little with the first missile and the explosion, therefore, but you know what? That's okay. We got a long elevator section, so I mean, gosh, we could talk about some stuff, or I mean, I'm sure Omax. Gee, you know what? I actually, I can't help but wonder where Akima Kumi has been this whole time. I mean. Gosh, but no, at least we got Omax, am I right?
What are you talking about? Akima Kumi's just in chat.
True, this is true. Alright, well let's see if...
confirmed that Akima Kuni's alive.
This is very true. But, yeah, no. That was just a huge lore dump, really, and then I gotta get off the elevator here. Oh wait, hang on, please. I went for the health. Okay, well, it's going to be a little bit slower, but that's no big deal. I just wanted the safety health because the final boss is going to make or break things quite a bit. Let's just put it that way. And determine whether or not I go under or overestimate.
Yeah. Also say hello to the wind mechanic from RV stage. And now it's gone.
Unfortunately, I'm not going to get a... full heal with that one unless the patch bot gives me some good RNG here. We'll see what happens.
I don't think it, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Let's make it what we got. And yeah, this is a two-phase boss fight. First one is Yellow Devil the bootleg, pretty much. She will shoot a couple of these blobs. Once she's shot enough, she will shrink a bit and she's then able to receive damage. And then she starts calling the blobs back, and once she's called enough of them back, she will become invincible again. You can get that one cycle, but it's very precise and not usually going to happen. So this is a second attack you'll definitely, or most likely will see plenty of time.
And then we're gonna go into the column 1A. Oh well, yeah. No big deal. Should be able to finish it.
At least your health is that bad, yeah.
Alright. We got
the
second phase, yeah, go ahead.
Second phase, it starts as this big wormy power thing that just wants to go to the other side. You can make the worm stay a little longer on the stage where you can damage it by shooting the legs off on the balls or whatever. And Trinity will do this a couple of times, after which she will turn into a flower and kind of come up from the middle of the stage, where you want to pick up Brand's weapon and go hammy on the attack button. because this will deal a lot of damage, and also because the goo that Trinity will spew, it's can be blocked by Brand's attacks. For some reason, this is not also told by the game itself. Oh no.
So close. We're going to see a longer attack,
close.
but we are very close to finishing this fight at the very least.
You just need to concentrate, so...
Time
yeah,
will not be on the final hit, but rather once I make contact with her orb, once it becomes vulnerable, so...
Yeah. You can be on the ready. And now, after this attack, the first phase will begin again, and new. But with the boss's health so low, I think...
Yeah, it's good as done. Don't worry, we're good.
So-
It was close with the red health, but hey, all is well. Alright,
You...
and... Time.
Time. GG.
Oh, hang on, timer's still going. That's that. Wait. What? Well. Okay, there we go. Shoot. Okay. Whew. That was a close one right there, if I do say so myself. Okay. And the final time will be 5 minutes, 38 seconds, and 20.
Yeah.
That
So
was
you'll get a
pretty
little
good.
less than 6 seconds added to your time.
Alright.
5.96 seconds.
Looking good. Okay, well, while we get the calculation going, I'm also going to check back with my main file time, and we're going to see if that PB'd or not. Chances are probably no, because I had a couple of slippery mistakes along the way, and that's just what it is sometimes. That's the nature of this game, but it's still very much underestimates. This is true. So, good run. I like a good run when it's underestimate, you know? All that good jazz. Hey. So, let's go ahead, skip the credits, which goes on for a super long time, but shout out to the masterfully made art splashes that we see at the end here. Honestly, I just wish we got a little more Mighty Number 9 art like this. The art style is cool. Maybe not everyone agrees with the designs, but it's not that bad at all. That was a very interesting way of skipping the final cutscene. Alright, I have avoided the exit game button, which is obviously exclusive to the PC version. 44.
So it's 44, 20... 23...
Give
20,
me a
24.
yeah, give me a second here. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Or 23.95 rather. But still.
Yeah. That was not a PB. Well, my PB is around, oops, I set the timer going again. Let's just go ahead and...
Close though?
Yeah, no, very close. My PB is 43 minutes and 18 seconds, which, hey, I can't complain about that whatsoever. That is still a good run. So, all things considered, I'm glad I got to show this game off. It is a fun speed run. It's not all that hard to learn, and JP and I still do plan on making an official tutorial for those that want to follow along with a certain set of instructions in mind. So definitely be on the lookout for that whenever. We do have a Discord community though if you want to join that, and it should very well have the link attached to our speedrun.com page. We also do have a Mega Man RTA leaderboard as well if you want to submit your times there. Overall, this game is a tale of something that could have been good, and, you know, we simply remember it for being there today. Maybe some people don't remember it all. But what matters most is that you can still be an anime fan on prom night and not cry. My name is TempestMask1000, and I was that anime fan who did not cry on prom night. With that said, thank you very much, Slurpathon, for having me once again. I always love getting to support this event. And, yeah, no, just... I hope everyone has a great rest of the schedule. Actually, this won't be my final run. I will be back on Sunday with Sega Sonic the Hedgehog. But in case you're not able to catch that one, if you want to follow me, my Twitch is TempestMask1000. I also got a YouTube channel of the same name. And I do have a Twitter at It'sTempestSteve, where I do try to post streaming updates because I do not have a static schedule. But, of course, following is purely optional. Just saying hello is more than appreciated. With that in mind, JP, yeah, he's got a Twitch as well. Ipehopue, JPHPUE. Follow him. He's a really cool dude. Thank you for commentating as always, my friend.
This is always fun. Let's hope we can show this off more.
Heck yeah. And with that said, we're gonna pass it on over back to the team. So until next time, ciao, amici.
All right, thank you for the amazing run, Tempest, and the commentator of JP expertise. And we've got Shredster, my good friend Shredster, coming up with Ultra Kill. I will be moving from the host position to the couch position for that game, so you'll be hearing me again in a bit. Just remember that we still have a couple of bid donation incentives. So again, we've got the Celeste bid war between two names right now, and we also have the Omax, my Omax, Sekiro's Shadows Die Twice, Immortal Severance ending. So don't forget to donate, and we shall see you in a bit.